Hey y'all, Darla here with Growing Tropical. Well, you guys, once again, Darla has lost her direction in her own yard. I really should be over on the north side of our property, working over there, trying to get that in shape. For those of you who don't follow my videos, my husband and I, and from this point forward, instead of saying my husband, I'm going to refer to him as Robin. I want to make my videos a little bit more personal, and I want you guys to know who I'm talking about. I mean, I do say my husband, but his name is Robin. So Robin and I have been laser focused on the north side of our property, and we've been really trying to get that area landscaped. And it's really important to for me to go ahead and try to get that area landscaped sooner as opposed to later. And one of the main reasons here is because I live here in South Florida. I'm in Zone 10, and before long it's going to be so hot that I am going to be wishing for winter time again, even though I don't like the winter months. We have a beautiful day right now. It's in the, I'm going to say it's probably in the upper 70s here today, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's breezy and wonderful. The sun over on the north side of the property is like really intense right now. So really and truly, I guess I could use that as an excuse and then I could just get over there a little bit later on as that sun starts to go down. But I have lost my focus as far as I should be over there working, to be honest with you. And what I find myself doing, y'all, is, I don't know how you guys are, but I find myself, you know, like in the evening times, kind of walking around my yard, you know, looking in the garden, looking, inspecting for, you know, bugs, number one, and looking at things that need to be, you know, trimmed back. Just kind of looking for, you know, little things. Sometimes they turn into big things that, you know, I want to do, maybe projects and what have you. And I have been looking at, for example, this Skyflower that's right here in front of me. This is a Duranta erecta. And I don't have a whole lot of experience with these guys, but the experience that I do have with them, I love them. I absolutely love them. They're so beautiful. This guy right here, I have two of them. This one I put in a pot, and he's just kind of like wild and crazy, and I love it. They're absolutely beautiful. Can you see these absolutely gorgeous blooms on this thing? I trimmed it back, gosh, it's been months ago now, just before, probably it was at the end of the year, I want to say maybe in December sometime. I nipped and tucked at him a little bit, and he went through our winter very well. Our winters here are pretty mild, although we did kind of get a couple of good cold snaps, but no freezing temperatures or anything like that. And anyway, he has just put on an enormous amount of growth, and he's just kind of willy-nilly all over this pot. But I have decided that what I want to try to do, and I've been thinking about it, and like I said, when I'm walking around the yard, my eyes have been going to this Skyflower, because I thought, you know what, as willy-nilly and crazy looking as this guy is, and he's really cool looking in the pot, I would like to try and see, you know, try my hand and see if I could grow one into more of a standard, like a tree form. So what I did was, I went to the one that I have located in, it's going to be to the right of you guys, I believe. And I'm going to take you back there and show you what I did to the Skyflower. Now, keep in mind what this one looks like, because the one that I'm getting ready to show you looked a lot like this one right here. So let's go and take a look at that one back there and show you what I did and why I did it. Okay, so here is the Skyflower that I trimmed on, and I didn't trim on him, I pretty much hacked it is what I did. This one looked pretty much identical to the one that I showed you guys in the beginning of this video. I mean, it was just large and in charge, and it took up this whole space in here. So what I did was, I went down, I'm going to pop the footage up on the top of this video so you guys can kind of follow along to see what I did. I just went and I found my main hardy stem, and this trunk is pretty good actually. The only thing that it really does is it leans just slightly, but I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. So what I did was, if you can see in the video, I just went down to the very bottom of the trunks, because there were multiple trunks down there, and I just cut off the ones that were kind of going off, you know, vertically, you know, left and right, and just, they were, you know, some in there that were like really small. They weren't what you would classify as a hardy trunk. And I just went down to the very bottom, and I just started cutting them all off until I came up with this main stem right here. And then what I did was I just kind of trimmed all this in here nice and tight. Now, as for the leaning stem part, or the trunk, I should say, what I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to be leaving this in actually right here. Now that I'm going to be experimenting with this, and now that I'm going to be growing this into a standard tree form or a small tree form, I'm going to dig him out of here and I'm going to be putting him in a container. Actually, I'm going to be putting him into this container right here. I believe this is a, you know what, I'm not real sure what size this container is. I want to say it's probably maybe between 14 and 16 inches, I think is what this might be. It is it's a terracotta pot, and it's all terracotta on the inside. It's unglazed on the inside, and then of course they've glazed it really pretty, and put a nice pretty texture on it on the outside. It does have a drainage hole because that is very important, but I thought it would be big enough, but not too big, to be able to go ahead and put this guy, this Skyflower, down inside of, and then I can relocate this container somewhere a little closer to me, someplace in the direct sun, but someplace that I can pay a special attention to him to make sure that I am giving him the attention that he needs as far as really trimming him up. Now, you guys, I don't think what I'm doing here is considered topiary. I think this is more just considered, I'm training this to become more of a standard, like a tree form. And a lot of times when you see people doing that, they do that when the shrub, in this case, because this was grown like a shrub, they do it more when it's very, very small. This Skyflower's been in for probably, gosh, it's probably been about 2 full growing seasons this guy's been in. And I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to do it. I'm still not 100% sure. I feel confident about it, but I found a very nice hardy trunk here. And the only thing that I'm really kind of concerned about is when I went down to the bottom and I was cutting off all those other trunks that were like in the way there, I may get like sprouts. So I may end up having to buy some, like, I'm not sure what you call it. It's like, you know, when you cut a trunk or whatever and you don't want any anything like any saplings growing, you can paint some stuff on there, and forgive me, I'm completely drawing a blank. I'll pop up on the screen what it actually is that I'll be using. I really don't use a lot of that type of stuff or whatever, where you just kind of paint it on the actual trunk to kind of seal that cut so you don't get any more additional growth on that. And I may end up having to do that. I may not. Like I said, this is a kind of an experiment. I've never done it before, so it's going to just kind of be trial and error, and we'll just kind of see what I'm going to have to do. So I'm very excited about this because I have seen a lot of the Skyflowers that were trained from their infancy into tree form, and they're very, very pretty. And I'm just hoping that I didn't catch it too late, and I'm not trying to do something where I waited a little too late to do it. But anyway, like I said, it's going to be trial and error. It'll just kind of be a fun project to do, and I will definitely keep you guys updated, as we progress with this. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dig out the trunk. I don't think that this guy has a super large root system on him, but I've never dug one up, so I really don't know. So let's go ahead and get this guy dug up. I'm going to try to get as much of that root ball, or keep as much of that root ball contained as I possibly can, because I want him to have a really, really, really good start when I relocate him into the pot. So let's go ahead and get him dug out and put him in the pot. was not too awfully bad at all. As a matter of fact, the root ball, it was, I thought was going to be for a few minutes there. I thought when I was starting to dig around, I thought it was going to really be hard to get out of there. But once I got it, you know, a little bit loosened around, it seemed to pull up very easy. And I hope you guys can see that okay. It looks like I got a good part of that root ball without having to disturb anything really on the bottom. Now, once I got it out, I went ahead and knocked off some of the, like on the top or whatever, just so I could get it into this pot. But you guys saw I filled it up, you know, about, you know, I think it was probably up to about here, yay full, and then dropped it down and then just kind of backfilled it on the top and then just made sure I pressed down really hard to get all the air pockets and everything out. But did you guys also see when I set it down a little bit lower on one side so I could get a nice straight trunk. So all in all, it went really well, and I think it looks really nice in the pot. I don't know if you guys can see down here a little bit better where I actually have, matter of fact, let me bring the camera in a little bit closer so I can actually show you what I'm talking about here. And because I want you to see what it is that I did here. So let me go ahead and zoom in. If you can see here, you see all those little tiny, I'm going to try to do this without making you guys dizzy. Bear with me one second, because I really want you to be able to see this. But okay, guys, let's go ahead, focus in here, focus. But can you guys see all of these little stumps right here? This is what I was talking about. There were just, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these little trunks that were down here that I just severed off. I may be able to cut them down a little bit lower, and like I said, if I notice that they're starting to like grow saplings or whatever, I'll just go ahead and on the tips of all these, I'll put some of that stuff that I was talking about that just kind of seals over the cut so that nothing else grows. But you can see just how nice and straight, whoop, let me get this all focused again. See how nice and straight this trunk is. It's nice and firm. It's got a nice girth to it. And so all in all, y'all, I think it'll do really well. I have no reason to think that it won't do well. Let me go ahead and make sure I get this all focused back out again. Bear with me, you guys. Okay, we're coming back out, and I'm going to come and sit back down so I can talk to you. So there you go. I mean, just, you know, I got a little off track. Like I said, I should be on the north side of the property, but I really wanted to do this, and I thought this would be a great time. You know, we're going into our spring months, and this thing should hopefully take off really nice. I'm just hoping, you know, or not hoping, I'm actually real excited to get some new growth up here to start shaping. It got a little bit of burn. Like I said, we got a little bit of cold, nothing freezing or whatever, but these guys are tropical plants and they do not do well when it gets cold. So it got a little bit of like a little bit of burn. I'm assuming that was from when we had a couple of those cold dips or whatever in the evening times. But all in all, I think it's going to do really well. So you guys, I hope this was a little bit of an inspiration. You know, when you walk around your yard, just looking at some of the things that you have out there and some of the fun that we can have with plants. Like I said, this was something that was just, you know, turned out to be very simple, and I'm really hoping it's going to do really well. And Skyflowers are beautiful. So if you're in your local nursery and you see one, pick it up, because you'll absolutely love it. They grow whether they're willy-nilly all over the place, or, you know, going ahead and trying to get one into, you could actually purchase them in a tree form as well. But, you know, if you see one that's got, you know, a smaller one and it's got a really nice, you know, girthy trunk like this, pick it up and bring it home and trim it into a tree. So you guys, again, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I sure would appreciate a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications, because you certainly want to see how this thing's going to turn out, because I do too. But until the next video, y'all, bye for now.